Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Katie Woodley with the Natural Pet Doctor. I'm so excited for you to be a part of our Pet Wellness Week. I'm excited to share some fun things that you can do to empower yourself to help your pet to achieve the best wellness that they can. I know a lot of you, including myself, I've always wondered, what questions do I ask my veterinarian when I bring my pet into the clinic? And what vaccines do I truly need to give to my pet? Are there other options that we have rather than giving them a lot of different drugs and vaccines all at the same time? What nutrition can I feed my pet? Because there's a lot of controversy right now where there's a grain-free dilemma. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but we're going to focus on things that you can do to help your pet and empower you to feel like you can go into the veterinary clinic and know what questions to ask and what things to do at home so that your pet can thrive naturally throughout its life. So I'm going to do a presentation, and what we're going to do is go through some things in terms of the different life stages for your pet. So we're going to start with just kind of an introduction today, and then what we're going to do is we're going to talk further about what you can do for your puppy, for your kitten, for your adult dog, for your senior pets, and give you some ideas and also some tools and resources that can actually help them. So this is me, and I am from Colorado originally, and I went to vet school in New Zealand. So I ended up in New Zealand because I love adventure. So once I graduated from Notre Dame, I had found out about Massey University in New Zealand in my last semester at school there, and decided to apply, got in, and a month after graduating went. It was the best experience of my life, and it actually introduced me to the idea of holistic medicine. We lived on a little lifestyle block. We had chickens, we had sheep, we had lambs, we had beautiful vegetable gardens, and we were able to make a lot of our own food, which was huge. And it really taught me how we could utilize the land and the space that we live on, and also how our surrounding environment can affect us. And so little did I realize that when we would move back to the States after living in New Zealand for 7 years, that holistic medicine would actually become a really big part of my life. So we moved back to the States. We moved to Colorado Springs. My husband is from New Zealand. And unfortunately, about 6 months after moving, he developed autoimmune disease. And I don't know about any of you guys. Hopefully, I really do never wish autoimmune disease on anyone. But what we found was that this is it. This is your lifelong disease. There's nothing you can do. The only options that you have are drugs. And we were not okay with that. The drugs were really strong. They had strong side effects. Some of the side effects cause cancer that can't be treated. I was not okay with this. So we started researching. And what we found is there is a whole nother world of medicine. And in terms of acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, even just nutrition as medicine is huge. And so then I started thinking, okay, well, why am I not doing this with pets? And I was like, this is not okay, not okay. I'm so tired of telling my patients when they have cancer or autoimmune disease or liver disease or kidney disease that, you know what, there's nothing else we can do. So unfortunately, we just have to keep them comfortable. And I was torn inside. Here I am telling my husband that conventional medicine was not okay and there had to be more. But on the other hand, I was telling my pet patients and their owners that this is it. This is all you have. There's nothing more I can do. And I did not feel right about that. And so what I did is I became acupuncture certified about 6 years ago, and I started doing acupuncture on my patients. And I remember my first patient, his name was Zeus, and he was just the most amazing Doberman. And unfortunately, his pet parents were dealing with, he had really bad neck pain to a point where he was on 4 or 5 different pain medications. They had tried everything, and they were at a point of putting him down because he was in such severe pain and there was nothing more we can do. And I was like, please just try some acupuncture. Let's just try it and see what happens. What's the worst that happens, right? We'll be in the same boat. Okay. And at least we know we tried something and it didn't work, and we'll have peace in that, knowing that we tried our best. this was the most amazing thing that happened. This was truly one of the things that made me a huge believer in acupuncture. And he came into the exam room, or where we did our acupuncture. It was more of like a comfort room. He had a bed. It was a nice little quiet space away from the hustle and bustle of the clinic. He laid down on the bed, and then we did a session. He put some needles in, and I will never forget, and I'll never forget the expression on his owner's face. And like, he stretched out, and then he started prancing around the room. And if I had a video now, I so wish I did, because I would just show that over and over again about the true power of acupuncture. But he ended up living for, I think it was another 2 or 3 years, and passing away from something else. And it really opened up my eyes that there's something more. So acupuncture was great, but it did have its limitations, because not every pet responds. Some pets don't tolerate acupuncture. So how do I deal with those pets that don't tolerate acupuncture? I needed to increase the tools that I had in my toolbox. So I decided to get certified in Chinese herbal medicine. I completed a 2-year graduate diploma course, and now I combine a lot of my treatments with acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine. We also do nutrition as a big part of that. So my overall mission, so that's a little bit of backstory about me, but my overall mission is to empower pet owners to be able to provide the tools that they need for their pets to achieve and thrive naturally. So this is not limited to Colorado. This is not limited to where I am. My goal is to expand this globally, because if you're in an area without a holistic practitioner, I don't want you to think there's nothing else you can do. So that is my mission. Let's spread the word. We can do more. There's a lot we can do to support your pets, and I want to empower you guys to be able to use those tools. So, all right, so welcome. This is our first module. This is more of an introduction to the Wellness Pet Week. So I talked a little bit about how and why I became a veterinarian, a holistic veterinarian. Obviously, I love animals. I love science, but the whole alternative world, holistic world, is just fascinating to me, because there's so many tools out there that I don't even know about all of them. There's too many alternative modalities for me to learn in my life. But what's really neat is we can partner with people that use those modalities and help your pet achieve health. We're also going to talk about what exactly does wellness mean, and why is this so important for our pets? What is holistic medicine? I mentioned a couple different of those modalities, but also how is it different from conventional medicine and what we're used to from a traditional standpoint? And then we'll talk a little bit about what this week will cover. All right, so what is involved with an integrative consultation? So this is what I do. And so this is really super important, because this is where we differ a little bit from conventional medicine. So what I'm looking at when I'm doing an integrative consultation, I'm looking at the entire pet, and I'm looking at their entire history, because there's going to be clues in that history that are going to help pinpoint where those potential imbalances lie. And what we're looking for is that root problem that led to all these other symptoms and issues that they've had. And then what we can do is we can support those systems rather than suppressing the symptoms with conventional medicine. So when we're treating with conventional medicine, what we're doing is we're treating not the underlying problem, we're treating the symptom. So let's take, for example, anti-inflammatories. So we're treating inflammation, right? But why? Why is the inflammation there? So now what we're doing is we're telling the body, by covering it up, so we're covering up that symptom with, say, like ibuprofen. We're telling the body it's fine. There's no problem now, but what's really happening is the problem is still there. And now what's happening is it's going unnoticed, unchecked by the body, because we suppress the pathways that were actually telling us there is a problem. And so now inflammation continues, and it leads down a degenerative pathway, which unfortunately leads to more inflammation, possibly autoimmune disease, possibly cancer. So our goal during this integrative consultation is to figure out, okay, what diet is your pet on? What's the environment like? Is there a high toxic load? Maybe you live next to a facility where they're dumping stuff that's really toxic, or you live underneath a power line, or there's all sorts of factors that can come into it. What is the mental health of your patient? or of my patient or of your pet? What is the surrounding environment too? The amount of times I've seen dogs develop diarrhea because their owners have IBS and they get stressed and they have diarrhea too. It's incredible how they play off of us because they are so connected to us. So we look at current and past health conditions because there's usually a cascade of events that are occurring, and we can figure out, okay, this is what happened, this is how it started, this is the root problem. Sometimes it's the gastrointestinal tract, most of the time it is, because if you've heard of leaky gut, that happens in our pets. We look at supplements, we look at medications, and also the side effects to those medications can tell us a lot. We do a full physical examination, and then we make recommendations regarding the whole body health for your pet, and then we see how they respond to it. So there's a lot that goes into it, and that's typically why an integrative consultation lasts a lot longer than when you go into the vet clinic for a conventional like wellness exam or a sick exam. You're usually there for 15 to 30 minutes, where these consultations are typically an hour or longer. So what does wellness mean to you? So feeling great, feeling energetic, feeling vital and alive. If you have true wellness, like full body wellness, you feel really, really good. So this means that our bodies are staying free of disease. And of course, it's going to be our state of health now, but also in the future. And we can look at, okay, were we well in the past? And maybe that's going to affect what our wellness looks like in the future too. And then we can use diet, supplements, we can change our environment. So that way we're helping to feed our bodies what it needs. So that way we maintain wellness. So talked a little bit about what is holistic medicine. So this goes into what I do for my consultations. We're looking at the whole pet or person. We're taking into account all aspects of their life, ranging from diet, environment, what their genetics look like. We can actually look at their microbiome and see how that's going to affect what's being expressed, if they're more likely to be overweight or prone to colitis, so inflammation in the gut, what the stress levels are and the family dynamic in the household. And that includes relationships with pet brothers and pet sisters and other cats and things like that, because that plays a big role, especially when we talk about cat health. So every system is interconnected. There is not where, let's say let's just say I'm vomiting, right? So that my stomach is not separate from my kidney health. It is all interrelated. And so what we're doing is we're treating physical, mental, emotional health of the pet. And we're looking at symptoms as an imbalance in the body and trying to figure out where the root problem is so that we can fix that illness or prevent illness from occurring in the future. So what are some of the different treatment options that we have in holistic medicine? Acupuncture, homeopathy, dietary therapy. Did you know foods? We can actually use foods as a treatment option because they have energetic properties with them, and we can use them to soothe inflammation in the gut. We can use cooling foods when it's warm out. We can use warming foods in the winter. Like right now, it's winter time, and I know I want to eat more soup. It's warm. It feels good to my body. I don't want to eat that when it's 100 degrees outside. So we can utilize that to help inflammation and other things happening. Physical therapy, so this is rehab. So we can use physical medicine to help animals, especially with osteoarthritis and other problems physically. Chinese herbal medicine, this is one of my specialties. So we can use different herbs in combination to actually help resolve those root problems and help heal the body from the inside out. Western herbal medicine, so this is using our plants as medicine too. So we do this a little bit different from Chinese herbal medicine, but similar concepts. Aromatherapy, using essential oils, is huge. It is incredible, very powerful medicine, and we touch a bit about this. Now, this is a small list. There's Reiki, we have energetic medicine, energy medicine. There's all sorts of other modalities that you can actually use too. So, but the list is too long to list all of them here. So how can holistic medicine help your pet? So there are so many different ways. What we can do, we can improve immune health. This is number one. We want to reduce unwanted side effects from conventional medicine. So I use a lot of herbal medicine, especially for my cancer patients. If they're going through chemotherapy, we can actually make the treatment more effective, reduce side effects with chemotherapy, reduce nausea, and help them tolerate the treatment while also providing anti-cancer effects. So it's a win-win all around. We can resolve imbalances in the body. We can slow down cancer. So using supplements, things like curcumin and then other herbs that are specifically suited for that patient, we can reverse kidney and liver conditions. So from a conventional standpoint, supposedly we're not able to reverse kidney disease, but I've actually seen kidney values and liver values go down through the use of Chinese herbal medicine. It's pretty powerful and incredible. We can relieve pain and reduce inflammation from osteoarthritis. So our senior pets will be touching a bit on that later on in this course. And then we can also promote healing from surgeries and injuries. We can use acupuncture, herbal medicine, supplements if your dog's torn his ACL. And then we can treat pretty much any condition, especially chronic diseases and cancer. It works really well in. Okay, so Eastern and Western medicine. So we've been talking a little bit about this. So Eastern medicine is more like the Chinese perspective. So we're looking at the entire body, all of the systems, how they integrate together, where there's imbalances. We talk about yin and yang in Chinese medicine. We're not going to go too much because this is an introduction course. Sometimes though, what we find though is it takes a little bit longer to heal that body. But why it does is because when we think about it, so especially for humans, let's think about, okay, so I'm going to be 36 years old. So I potentially have trashed my body for 36 years. And now I want to take something to fix that. And I want to fix it by tomorrow. That's not realistic. So we're using medicine and natural supportive care to actually heal your body. And so that's going to take time because it is more gentle. It works better with your body. You're going to have less side effects and it's going to take longer. So one of the cases that I treat a lot of allergy dogs and cats, and we can treat them really effectively with herbal medicine, diet change. You can even use acupuncture. But I always tell my pet owners, this is not an overnight thing. If your pet has been having problems for years, you can expect to be on herbal medications. We need to do a diet change, and it's probably going to take a few months or even a year. So that is a realistic expectation I try to set up from the start because it doesn't work as fast, but it works a lot better because what's happening is we're not covering up symptoms and we're treating the root problem. So versus conventional medicine. So we call that Western medicine. So this is typically treating symptoms. It's disease focused. So let's see, like we've got all these potential, let's think about, okay, so with autoimmune disease, right? Let's talk about colitis. So like Crohn's disease or inflammatory bowel disease. When you think about the history of someone that's developed this autoimmune disease, there's going to be little things all along the way that could have cued you into that problem. But what we think is, oh, it's just fun. I'm a bit gassy. My stool is maybe a little bit off, a little bit loose. I know we're getting real here. So this is getting real intimate. But when you think about that, like maybe you didn't tolerate grains or you drank coffee and like, oh yeah, you know, it makes me go to the bathroom, right? That's why I drink it in the morning. But that's a sign that there's probably something going on in your gut. There's probably inflammation there. And so what happens is you continue that process, you keep feeding your body that stuff, and then all of a sudden you fall off the cliff and now you're at the bottom of the cliff and you have this disease. Now we give it a name. Now you have Crohn's. Good luck. You got it for the rest of your life. So that's where Western medicine is. We're disease focused. Now we have a name for this disease. Now we can give it medicine. Same with inflammation. Let's think about that. Anti-inflammatories again, because this is a good one. It's a fast fix. I have a headache. What do? I take some Aleve, or I don't know. I don't use this stuff. I always use essential oils, but I know a lot of people that do. So you take a pill, right? And then what happens? Oh, you know what? I feel so much better in an hour. I feel great. Okay, well, what was the underlying problem? We didn't fix it, right? What we did is we took a drug, blocked a receptor, and now you don't feel it anymore. But the thing that was occurring before that pathway in your body is not fixed. So this is a fast fix. And that's why a lot of people who turn to Eastern medicine, we have to have a mind shift, because what happens is we expect the same fastness to the treatment. and it doesn't happen, they are not the same. So that's super important to remember when we're looking at our pets from a holistic perspective. The things you're using do not mean if you're not seeing immediate results, it does not mean that it is not working. That's important. So keep that in mind. So also Western medicine based on results and proof. So traditional research studies are really hard to implement with Eastern medicine because it's individualized medicine for Eastern medicine. When we're doing research studies from a Western standpoint, we're taking cohorts of people usually, we're grouping them all together and saying they're the same, and then we're giving the same drug or placebo to those different groups of people. So it's very difficult to replicate that from an Eastern perspective. So, and then we use conventional medications. So chemotherapy, pain relief. And I am not dissing conventional medicine, just I want to put that out there. I integrate the two. And that's the beauty of using both of these. We can achieve much better results by integrating the two. Okay, so wellness. So some of the things that we're going to be focusing on through these next couple of modules, because these encompass what wellness is. Nutrition is number one. It is the foundation for our health. If we are not feeding our bodies or our pets' bodies the right food, which is quite a scary industry for the pet food industry, we are going to be doing a disservice to them. We are going to see disease develop, and if you're lucky, you won't, and your pets will live a long, healthy life. But there's a lot of other factors now. Environment's another one. There's a lot of pesticides being used. We're seeing a lot of increased autoimmune disease. We're seeing a lot of cancer. So we're going to talk a bit about how you can reduce the toxic load that your pet is exposed to. Now, there's a lot of things we can't control here, so that's why it's super important making sure we're feeding the right foods. We're doing everything else that we can control the best as much as we can. Vaccines. This is a huge controversial subject in pets and pet owners right now. So we're going to talk about what vaccines your pet needs, vaccine schedule, and also what a titer is, because titers are essential for ensuring that we're not over vaccinating our pets. And then we can also space out vaccines too. So we'll be going through all of that. Flea and tick preventatives. We're going to touch on what essential oils, what more natural products you can use to help your pets, keeping in the back of our minds, sometimes you do have to use conventional medicine. So, but we're going to talk about things you can do, because you can always try these first. If it's not working, then we need to use conventional medicine. Exercise. This is huge. Our pets need to exercise. And what's great is that we're exercising usually. So don't just throw the ball for them. Yes, do that too, but get out for a walk with them, because it helps us also. So we all get to be healthy together, which is really important. We're going to talk about behavior, especially for those puppies and kittens, and also recognizing behavior changes in our senior pets. This is something that we can help them tremendously. And if we're socializing, especially puppies and kittens right from the start in an appropriate manner, that's going to help prevent more separation anxiety, other issues down the road too. We're going to talk about neutering and spaying, so desexing our pets. Do you need to do it? When's the right time, and why? So this is big. There's been a lot of research that's come out recently about when to desex your pets and why you should be doing it a bit later. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk about common diseases and symptoms, especially with our adult pets as we start seeing some of those develop, and especially with our senior pets. Some of the common conditions: kidney disease in cats, osteoarthritis in older dogs and cats. And what are some of the things we can do? And we're going to talk about supplements, because this is what you can do at home. Most of these you can do at home. That's the biggest thing. I want to empower pet owners. This is super important. There's so many things that you can do without a veterinarian if you're getting the right information. So that is my mission. All right. So like I said, there are a lot of things we can't control. Can't control if our neighbors spraying their yard. I can't control necessarily sometimes where we live. Can't control, what's in the food if you have to feed a kibble-based diet. But there's so many things that we can control for our pet's health. We can make sure we're vaccinating appropriately. We can try to feed the best diet that we can. We can exercise our pets. We can maintain our own health so we feel well emotionally, so our pets feel well emotionally. So there's a lot that we can do. So you're not alone in this. We are in it together. All right. So what are we going to cover this week? We're going to talk about, first off, let's start with that first life stage. What the heck do you do with your puppy and kitten? You're getting them at 8 weeks old. Sometimes it's your first pet. And so we're going to talk about all of that. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to slide into adult wellness. We're covering both dogs and cats all week. So don't worry, kitty owners, we've got you covered. We're going to talk about what is an adult, okay, what ages. And then we're going to talk about what happens when you go into the vet clinic and what you can ask for, and just inform yourself so you feel better when you do step foot into that vet clinic and more empowered to advocate for your pet's health. Then we're going to finish on senior wellness and what, both cats and dogs, what common diseases we tend to see, things that you can do. Remember, this is all about what you can do. So we'll talk more about that. Some of the common diseases, see, like I said, what you can do. That is the focus. Not what I can. We're going to talk about what I can do, but it's all about what you can do. And if that's not enough, let's talk about what I can do and how I can help you or other integrative practitioners, because we're out here and we want your pet to live for as long as possible with you. And then the last day, so I want you to give me feedback all week. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear what your pet is going through. Because what we're going to do is we're going to follow up with our last video. We're going to do a summary of everything so you have that, but we're also going to talk about your concerns. So that way I can help you and help your pet in the best way. And if we need to, then what we can always do is we can create more content. We can do more webinars. We can do more posts, blog posts about what your pet is going through. And maybe there'll be something there that you can actually help them with. So I am super excited about the content that we've created for you guys and to hear your feedback about it all. If you want to hear more, there's definitely a lot more you can do. So make sure that you follow me on our YouTube channel. Make sure that you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and then check out my website, www.thenaturalpetdoctor.com. And I can't wait to see you all tomorrow for our next puppy and kitten wellness, and go through some of the things that you can do to start your pets off on the right foot to holistic health their entire life. So make sure you send me your questions, because it's only happening this week and then this is gone. So can't wait to see you guys and hope you have a great day. Thanks.